bisa rapi, tapi suruh bisnis SKM. Kan SKM tadi kan diikut sama laporan.
Jawa gitu ikairu.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. We will be starting very shortly. While we wait for everyone else, let's wait for about another 2 to 3 minutes. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. We'll be starting very shortly. Let's wait for more participants to join. So let's wait about 5 minutes and we could start the session. Thank you.
Gimana cara gabungnya? Kakak itu ada di pin ya, bisa diklik linknya di situ.
Right, now that a lot of the participants have already joined us, I guess we could start from here. So good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to thank every one of you guys for joining us for this special Japan-Korea Talk webinar for today. I'm your host, Rumi, from the ACF committee, and you might be able to see the rest of my ACF team on top. And for today, the main reason for this webinar is to introduce you guys the basic of having a career opportunity in Japan. So before I get started, I would like to go over a few small things, which is first, while everyone is going to be given the opportunity to speak later on in the Q&A section, we're going to have two separate sections, one right after the guest speaker section and the other after the final section. So if you have any questions, please fill them up in the chat if you really have to say something. And if not, please keep your voice muted at all times until the Q&A section. All right, so now without further ado, let's begin our Japan Korea Talk session for today. So before I get into super big details, I would like to get to know the audience a little bit. So please, in the chat, I would like to get to know where are you guys from? Are you guys mostly from Indonesia, or are you guys, a few of you guys from Malaysia? What country are you guys from? Right. Majority of you guys seem to be from Indonesia, but we do have a few from, let's say, the Philippines and Thailand as well,
Jangan lupa join ya sekarang.
Vietnam.
Jangan lupa join ya
Right.
sekarang. It's
So we
happening.
have
It's
quite a lot
happening.
of people coming from different countries as well. But of course, this seminar is mainly dedicated for the students of Indonesia, but as well it is also beneficial
Caranya
for you
gimana?
guys to
Itu
learn a few
klik
things
aja
about things over here. So now let me move on to
bit.ly/acf23.
the next section, which is I want to briefly teach you
Diklik aja
guys
itu
about
linknya.
a few Japanese system, which is very important for a lot of the locals over here, which is the Japanese shukatsu system. So before I explain what shukatsu is, does anyone want to take a quick guess on what shukatsu could mean? Is it about some
Jangan
let's
lupa
say,
join
job
sekarang
hunting
juga.
season,
Sekarang
or
juga
could it be something
join.
about
Klik linknya
food,
di
or
situ ya.
what could it be?
Semuanya bisa ikut.
Please type in the
Ini
chat.
adalah work kerja di Jepang. Kerja di Jepang kalian nanti bisa dapetin free tiket ke Singapura ya. Dapat free tiket ke Singapura, oke? Jangan lupa join.
Well, as majority of you guys have guessed it, it's basically about job hunting in Japan. So to be more specific, shukatsu or shukatsu katsudo, it refers to job hunting in Japan, where most of the companies will be targeting students who will be graduating around March, April. So that way, once the students have freshly graduated from their university, they could start working in a Japanese company right away, either from April or around September or October. But one thing, or maybe a small flaw about this system, is the fact that this is mainly geared towards hiring Japanese locally, or foreigners who have maybe
Jangan lupa
graduated
join
from
ya. Jangan lupa
Japanese
join. Jangan
university
lupa join.
and they have a certain level of Japanese experience or language experience. So if this is the case, what does this mean for you guys? So do you guys really fit in the shukatsu system or not? So the main solution for this is our career fair, which is ASEAN Career Fair with Japan, which is a career fair dedicated to hiring students all over from ASEAN to a Japanese company, whether situated in Japan or all the way in, let's say, ASEAN regions or other regions worldwide. Now, for me just to quickly go over the agenda for today's webinar, I will be going over these 4 things. 1, which is more specifically what ACF is about. 2,
Bentar lagi aku
our
ngomong.
guest
Bentar lagi aku
speaker,
ngomong.
as we
Bentar
have
lagi aku
Miss
ngomong.
Claudia collaborating with us for this webinar. She'll be joining us later on, and you can see her waving in the background over there. And then we'll have a Japan quiz, where the winners of this quiz will be guaranteed a free invitation to ASEAN Career Fair. Now, this is a very rare opportunity for a lot of the people, so please give your best when you're playing this game with us. And lastly, we'll have a Q&A session where we will briefly go over a few commonly asked questions and as well a few questions you guys
Itu
have
dipin
submitted
ya,
to us.
dipin. Jadi bisa diklik.
And after that, we'll
Diklik
also
aja
give you
langsung
guys the
disematkan di
opportunity to
atas.
ask us
Link
live
yang
any
disematkan
questions
itu
regarding
bisa langsung diklik ya.
ACF or even a question directly to Claudia. So now, without further ado, let's get to what ASEAN Career Fair is. So to keep things simple, we like to call ourselves ACF for short. So if you see our hashtag, we normally say ACF 2023 or 2022, depending on the year. But to put it simply, if I were to describe this career fair, I would say this is a career fair dedicated to bridging the talents from Southeast Asia, not just, let's say, Indonesia, but countries like Thailand, Vietnam, Malaysia, Singapore, and many companies with Japanese companies. So they're not necessarily just situated in Japan, but as well in countries like, let's say, not just in Southeast Asia, but also in, let's say, other branches in Europe or America, and so on. So what makes our career fair special is we are one of the first and the longest running career fair in the region, which does not require any Japanese proficiency to be able to work in a Japanese company. So, as I have previously stated, if you try to look for a Japanese company through the regular shukatsu way, you may need a very strong, let's say, language proficiency of, let's say, about N2 level Japanese or N1 level. But for our career fair, if you would like to work
Join
in a
sekarang
Japanese
juga ya,
company,
join sekarang juga.
the Japanese
sekarang
language
juga
proficiency is
live-nya.
not required at all.
Menangkan tiket ke Singapura.
Now let me move to the next part, which is when is the career fair even going to take place? It's going to be taking place next year on 11th February 2023, which is a Saturday, all the way in Singapore in this convention called Singapore Expo. You guys may be wondering, why am I even talking about a career fair that's taking place in Singapore for students all the way in Indonesia? Well, that's because we have something called a travel scholarship, where if you have been accepted by our by our process, then all the successful applicants will be given a 200 Singaporean dollar, which should be able to cover a round trip ticket from Indonesia to Singapore and then back to Indonesia. So with all this said, what is like the typical requirement to get into a career fair? Well, that is, you have to if you're about to graduate within 18 months. So let's say if you're in your 2.5 year or 3rd year of university, you're already open to apply to us. And the range we're looking for is about students who have already graduated or will graduate by 2023. And it's also open to students who have about 3 to maybe 8 years of experience. So as long as you're interested in joining in a, I would say, entry to junior level position, this career fair is for you. Now, let me get to the second requirement, which is, what do you exactly need to join us? Well, more importantly, you only just need business level English to be able to apply to us. We are open to any majors and any degrees that you may have. So as long as you fit the criteria of applying as an applicant who is about to graduate in 18 months, all the way to people who have about 3 to 8 years of experience, you should be allowed to join us. So what to expect from a career fair? We have about, I would say, a maximum of 20 companies will be joining us, and we are currently still in the process of inviting a lot of the companies. I believe we have officially announced about 10 by now, but we still have 3 or 4 more pending. So be sure to check out our website to see which companies are attending. And you may ask, like, where exactly are the companies directly hiring from? Well, this could either, as I previously stated, it could be directly in Japan, or it could be within a branch area of Asean or other countries. So let's say there may be certain opportunities where a Japanese company will transfer you directly to, let's say, an Indonesian branch. But also for some candidates, they might actually send you all the way to Japan. So this really depends on the company. So be sure to check their job description and everything, so you know what to expect from each of these companies. Now, I believe I have been talking a little too much, so I think I just want to hear a little from you guys. Like, when it comes to Indonesia, how's the job hunting like? Do you guys normally try to find a job right after you graduate, or is it like before you graduate, you start applying to jobs and try to secure by April or a certain time? So when do you guys typically start job hunting in Indonesia? Please write that down in the chat. Okay, I'm actually getting a lot of mixed answers actually. Some of you guys are saying after graduating, some saying before. Okay, so I guess it's pretty random, but in comparison to Japan, Japan has a very fixed schedule. So a lot of these companies that may be hiring in the Japan branch specifically, they may be targeting for students to be able to work around April April to July to maybe September, December, around that area. So if you are maybe working towards a Japanese brunch, then I would look carefully for those timings to be able to join the company. Okay, so now let me just quickly show you a video of our career fair. So this video took place about 2 years ago, before the pandemic. Unfortunately, the last 2 years we had to carry out this career fair online. So if you want a sneak peek, then here's the 2020 career fair back in 2 years ago.
I think the sound is not shared.
Jangan lupa join sekarang juga karena masih ongoing. Masih ada kesempatan kalian untuk dapat travel ke Singapura secara gratis. Gratis dan dapetin tiket untuk ke Singapura. Tinggal diklik aja link yang ada di situ, oke? See you there. I will be talking soon, so see you there.
Unfortunately, I'm having a little bit of a technical difficulty, so I'll just be narrating a few things that's going on over here. So as you can see in the career fair, it's a very diverse environment where everyone from all over ASEAN will be joining over here. And as you can see, this is how the inside is going to be looking like in the career fair itself. This is all the way in Singapore. So for the successful attendants that were able to join us, we will be providing a complimentary lunch for you guys. So once you arrive, the only thing you really need to pay is probably a train ticket from airport to the expo center. And after that, everything is on us. So you don't have to worry about spending too much budget getting here. And as you can see in this part over here, we also do something called, let's say, an early birds pre-interview thing, where if you actually register early, a company recruiter will be scouting you very early on. So that way they could arrange an interview with you before the career fair date itself. So when that happens, you'll be able to have your first interview in the career fair. And depending on whether they like you or not, they might proceed with the second interview, or in some cases, we've had students get a position right after the interview itself. So this is just a quick video I just wanted to show you regarding our ASEAN Career Fair. So now let me just skip over to the next section. Right. So now this is I think one of the main reason a lot of you guys are here for, which is for our guest speaker we have today, Claudia, who is not just a career content creator who makes about Japan, videos about Japan and how to get a career here, but also she's also one of the more successful applicants of ACF. And she managed to get hired into a Japanese company here, and she was able to have a job over here as well. And she's been here for some time now. So please, Miss Claudia, would you...
Yeah, sure.
Right, so please, everyone, please give a round of applause to Miss Claudia.
Thank you very much. So let me just start sharing. Okay. Just wait a sec. Okay, I don't have a PDF reader in my PC, so anyway, I'll just use a browser. Hello everyone. So my name is Claudia Khansa Okuzumi, and yeah, hopefully by the end of my session, you will get some insight on how to succeed the ACF event in Singapore. And also, I'm so sorry that my voice is kind of a little bit breaking at the moment, and I might cough in the middle actually because I just recovered from a COVID recently. So yeah, I apologize for that. Anyway, let's get started. Is it feasible for you? I mean, my screen. Is it okay? Okay.
Oh yes.
Okay. So, yes, you can call me Claud. So currently I'm an IT consultant specializing in a cloud network infrastructure. So I've been working in this company for around 3 years. So in the right hand side here, you can see a bit of my history. So I studied in University of Indonesia, majoring electrical engineering. So anyone from the same university, Universitas Indonesia. Yeah, anyway, I studied there starting on 2012. Yeah, quite a long time ago. And then during my university, I also participated in a student exchange program in Tohoku University, Japan. And then I graduated from University Indonesia, obviously, and got my bachelor's degree there. And then on April 2017, 5 years back, I moved and started to work in Japan for the first time. So thanks to Asian Career Fair to getting me a job. And at that time, don't worry because I have zero Japanese proficiency. I don't have any Japanese proficiency at all. So don't worry about it. And the next slide is about my Asian Career Fair journey. I'm gonna share you a little bit of the insight of how I apply until I land my first job in Japan. So on 2015 December, by the way, you can just ignore the year because it's too old. I know, yeah, it was like long time ago. Just you can look at the monthly timeline here. Like in December, I applied for the ACF, so it was like during this time. What I did is like I did a company research on each of the participating companies that Rumi just shared earlier. So really, I really stalked them. I stalked the company. And then on January, finally I got a chance to fly to Singapore, coming to the Asian Career Fair venue, and also I talked with some of the company representative from at that time. And then I received the interview from 2 different Japanese IT companies at that time. And then after I did the interview, so yeah, I kind of succeed those 2 interviews. And then on March 2016, I got a final interview with the first company. So I flew to Japan to have a face-to-face meeting with the company CEO. And of course, it was for free. Flying back and forth was for free. So, and I was still a university student at the time. And then on June, I also got a chance to do the 5 weeks internship in the second company, not in the first company, not the same company as this one, but a different company. So I flew to Japan again to experience the real working situation in Japan, and also including the final assessment by the HR. And then I graduated university. Finally, I graduated from university on August. And during that time, I got a phone call from the second company that I got an offer to work full time in their company. So, and then I decided to move to Japan. And then I moved to Japan on April 2017 as a new grad, and attended my welcoming ceremony. So April 2017 marks my first step to Japan. My journey in Japan has been started. And also, talking about the Asian Career Fair, I'm going to share with you some of the preparation that I did before, during, and also after the event. So, for the first time, like Asian Career Fair preparation, the things that you need to prepare before coming to Singapore. You cannot come to Singapore with no knowledge of the company, with no preparation. It will be waste of time, I can say. So the first thing first that you need to do before you apply yourself is that you need to check and do research of the participating companies, the listed companies. You need to pick the company and position which company match best with your current skill, with your major in university, and also the most important thing is with your career aspiration in the future. And then the second one, you apply it yourself to the website, do a self-promotion on the mini essay section there. So it will be good for appealing point as well. And then number 3 is that you need to check if the company offer a pre-screening selection. So you will have a chance to secure a slot to get interviewed in the venue, because it's impossible for hundreds of students to be interviewed at the same time in a one day or second day there. So yeah, you need to really look at that if a company provide a pre-screening selection for the document. So at that time I did that. I applied for pre-screening selection, so I got to secure one interview slot before I arrived to the event. Yeah, because yeah, one interview slot means a lot. And then what do you need to do during the event? So first thing first, you need to come earlier, because you know hundreds of students will be coming in the same event, so it will be so crowded, right? So you need to prepare yourself as well. And then yeah, number 2, so you need to go to the interview booth earlier. So what I meant here is that if you can secure a interview slot before the event started, if you pass the pre-screening selection, you need to go to interview booth earlier, because at that time I was a little bit late, like five minutes late or something, but they forgive me. Anyway, yeah, because I was like moving around the venue. The venue is so big, so I didn't know where is the interview booth. Anyway, number 3, you need to do a tour, because it's quite a big venue, right? So do not miss the rare opportunity. Maybe your dream job is right in front of you, so do a little tour and the company, take a peek, and yeah, try to talk with the representative person there. And then number 4 here, this is also a tips for you, that the quality over quantity. This is obviously important, because it's impossible for you to apply to all of the company in one day. So be wise picking the company that is a match with your career aspiration, with your skill, capability and stuff. So yeah, because you only need one offer. You don't need to get a lot of offer, right? Only one is more than enough. And then the last one is, yeah, just enjoy and make a lot of friends, because obviously so many students from different countries. This is a very rare opportunity that Asian Career Fair brings and gives to you. So don't waste this opportunity. Okay, and then the next one is about the tips, another tips. So yeah, I'm sharing like a bunch of tips actually. Yeah, this is just another tips to succeed the event. So the first thing first that I always mention before as well, do a research about the company and also Japanese culture, not only the company itself, but also the Japanese culture. Because yeah, I think the interviewer will be happy if you know 1 or 2 about the Japanese culture and how you love Japanese culture, something like that. So yeah, and then number 2 is that prepare the script for interview. So yeah, this is what I wrote here. Is indeed true that luck is when preparation meets opportunity. So don't waste the opportunity. Once in a lifetime opportunity. So don't let anything cancel out this big opportunity that you have in your hand. And then number 3 here is that 日本語で自己紹介にチャレンジ. So actually this is optional, but if you can do how can I say, like do a self-introduction in Japanese to impress the interviewer, that it will be very much appreciated. It won't be hard, I'm sure. Yeah, and they will be able to see your effort you put on that. And then number 4 is that just relax and enjoy yourself. Yeah, it's Singapore anyway. If you can travel there for free, it's much better, right? So it's time to enjoy your time with your friends, right? And you can see in the video earlier that the lunchtime and a coffee break is superb, so you can eat everything you want there. Don't be too intense. the interviewer also wants you to enjoy, you know, they want to enjoy talking with you and also learn about you yourself and also your culture. Yep. And then now we come to the frequent asked question, FAQ. So probably about the interview question, I guess. So the interview question actually is quite simple. Like it's pretty basic, similar with other job hunting. Like why are you applying to this position? Why do you want to work in Japan? What are you studying? And also what is your impression towards a working culture in Japan, something like that. And also they probably will ask you, have you ever been living to other country? Because they want to know how well you adapt to the new environment. Like for example, you get offered to work in Japan, so they want to know how well you can adapt with the new environment. Yeah, something like that. And this is and the below here, a big plus during the interview, this is also kind of tips that you need to mention to the interviewer for your self appeal. The first one is about the living abroad experience. If you ever lived abroad, so it will be a very good points to emphasize. Yeah, as I mentioned, they will see that you can well adapt to the new country, to the new culture. So, and also student exchange experience. So this is probably like a similar. So if you have experience of doing a student exchange, yeah, it will be best that you can mention it during the interview. And then if you don't have any living abroad or student exchange experience, no problem. It's not end of the world, because you can still talk about your university club experience and probably your leadership experience during their university life and stuff. And also the passion. Everyone loves to hear someone's passion. So if you have passion into something, you should make sure that the interviewer, that it's how can I say, delivered to the interviewer. And then if you probably receive an award and something, achievement, you should definitely share it with the interviewer as well. Yep, I guess that's all about the Asian career tips and stuff, working in Japan stuff. So, and then I also want to share with you about my working life in Japan so far. And those 3 pictures here are the things that I love the most of working in Japan. I mean, what I love from my work. So the first one here is the business trip. I love doing a business trip, especially if it's a overseas business trip, so I could travel around the world for free. So this one is, for example, in USA. And then I also love to do a presentation in the office. Yeah, currently I did it like mostly in Japanese actually, but in the beginning of my career, because I couldn't speak in Japanese properly, I can do it in English. So don't worry about it, don't worry. And then fun times with the coworkers. The good thing that I joined a company as a new employer is that I know a lot of doki. Doki means a coworkers who is young and also funny and also still active. So yeah, I love to hang out with them. And then the next one is the hobby that I pursued and discovered during my stay in Japan. So yeah, I pursue and discovered new hobbies more than I've been before in my life, because as you know that Southeast Asian only have a 2 seasons, like summer, not really summer, like hot season and rainy season, dry and rainy season. So in Japan we can experience 4 seasons, and one of them is a winter. So I really love to do outdoor sports in the winter. So here you can see I'm doing a snowboard, and also traveling with friends, seeing aurora in the Finland, this one. And also, yeah, I painted sometimes. Yep, I guess that's all from my side. So what are you waiting for? Right? So, and also thank you for joining me in this webinar. Probably I can pass it back to Rumi.
Hey, Claudia-san, thank you very much for presenting. I believe a lot of the students here were able to get a lot of insightful experience, not just about ACF, but also about tips in, let's say, to pass a Japanese company interview, which is not just applicable to ACF, but also to other places as well, for sure. And on top of that, your experience in Japan, I think this is, now that you're mentioning about Southeast Asia, there's only 2 seasons, which is
Yeah.
summer and just rainy season, sadly. Yeah, coming to Japan, you get to experience a lot of new things. So if you're looking to do this, then this is one of the reasons to apply to us. So again, thank you very much, Claudia-san. But from here, we will do, let's say, a mini Q&A section. So the first part being, we're going to have 2 questions picked from the survey. No, 2 or 3 questions picked from the survey that everyone has registered. And then we are going to give 1 commenting opportunity for the students if you have a very specific question for Claudia later. So without further ado, let me just get into the first question, which was commonly asked in the survey. So please tell me the working difference in Japan and Indonesia. Is there really a very big difference in the culture, let's say business-wise or teamwork-wise?
Yeah. Okay, Remy, thank you for that question. Actually, honestly speaking, I never worked outside Japan at all for the rest of my life. So working in Japan is my first job, and until now, so I don't have like a clear, how can I say, like comparison. But if I can say, like, based on what my friends taught me, based on my Indonesian friends taught me, is that probably how can I say, like, the separation between the professional work and also with the personal life, it's quite different in Japan, I think. Like, but in Indonesia, it's like you can always text your coworker all the time through the WhatsApp or something like that, and ask them to hang out or something like that, or even just to talk about work and just suddenly call through the WhatsApp and asking about work on Saturday. I'm not sure whether it's true or not, but yeah, please correct me if I'm wrong. But in Japan, is that work is work, personal life is personal life. I don't even know, in my previous company, I don't even know whether my how can I say, senpai is married or not. I don't even know. Really. But in Indonesia, I'm sure that kind of information is really shareable. People love to share with everyone, like the coworkers and stuff. So that's one of the things that I noticed, maybe. So in Japan, it's like work is work. If your dedicated work dedicated time of work is 8 hours per day, so that's your work time. But in Indonesia, and sometimes you can, like, talk with your coworker something in between, and yeah, maybe hang out after that and just talk about work, still talk about work, even though it's outside the business hour or something like that. So that's what I feel. So yeah, please correct me if I'm wrong. Somebody's here, maybe, who's been working in Indonesia. Yeah.
Well, personally, I haven't worked in Indonesia, but coming from somewhere like Malaysia, like, I would say I did notice a little bit of a similarity where if it's Japan, then work hour is strictly work hour. But if it's in Malaysia, like, even during work hour, there's times that people will like slack off and like talk about life and
Yeah.
even play around a bit sometimes. So I could totally understand the difference in culture there. Now let me get to the second question, which is what was your biggest challenge coming to Japan, like adjusting your life over here, or maybe just even work-wise? Like, what did you find really challenging as a foreigner?
Yes, actually, coming to Japan on 2017, it was not my first time because I did a student exchange program before, right? So I've been quite, like, adapting myself by that time. But student exchange program, I was a student. But on April 2017, when I first worked in Japan, I was a worker, salaryman. Yeah, I was a salaryman. So it was like a big difference. The most difference that I found is that how can I say, like, if I have difficulties or something when I was still a student, I can easily address it to my sensei or senpai or something, but in a work, when I'm working, so I feel like everyone around me, it's very superior than me. Like, of course, they've been working in Japan. I mean, they've been working in their field for 10 years or more. So, of course, they are far more accelerated than me. So, at the time, I feel a little bit insecure of my own capability, like why I cannot do that, something like that. It's very difficult, but and also it's so difficult to ask. Like, I don't want to bother them all the time with my stupid questions, something like that. So yeah, it was my biggest challenge. And also they don't mind if I'm speaking in English actually, but I also feel like I need to study. I need to learn Japanese. I don't want to be in my comfort zone all the time. So yeah, those two are my biggest challenge. Like, I'm feeling, inferior because of my skill, of course, compared to the senpai. And then the second one is about my Japanese skills, still very very poor at that time. So, and how did I overcome those two? About the feeling inferiority, just accept it. I need to accept it. I don't have to, like counter it back or fight it. I just need to accept it and learn which should I improve from myself. Slowly, it's okay. Everyone has their own pace, so it's okay if you cannot do it. The company has a lot of reason to hire you, so you might have something like a potential. They believe you have some potential, so don't be afraid about it. Just fight, just let it flow and keep improving yourself. And also about the Japanese proficiency, there's nothing you can do. You just need to practice all the time. Everyone in your office will be more than welcome to help you practice in English. So your friends and stuff, so it's really okay, even though it's very slow, but don't worry, you'll get there. And also take the Japanese language proficiency, GLPT. It helps a lot. I mean, if you take that kind of test, you will have a certain target to improve yourself. Yeah, I think that's all.
Great. Thank you very much, Claudia. I would say I'm still actually in my first year working in Japan actually, and I'm pretty much going through the same thing as you right now, where I'm still struggling to, let's say, feel I have a little bit of an inferior complex, and at the same time, like my first language is English, unfortunately, as a Japanese, so I'm still getting there when it comes to learning Japanese. But of course, learning Japanese will actually open more opportunities in the future.
Yeah.
So this is something everyone should definitely invest on if you ever choose to move to Japan, and that way everything is going to feel normal to you in less than a year or two. So one of the very simple solution is try to drill down your Japanese for sure.
Yes, of course.
Okay, so now I think this question links to what we just talked about, which is about the Japanese language proficiency. So let's say before you came to Japan, like roughly what level were you in, and how long did it take you to actually grow your Japanese level?
Actually, when I first working in Japan, my Japanese proficiency was maybe not 0, but not into N5 level yet. Like, the GLPT, right? Japanese proficiency level. The N5 is the lowest one, but I'm not there. I never took a test. So what I can do is only, hajimemashite and stuff, like introduction of myself, buying onigiri in convenience store. Yeah, something like that. Also, kanji, it's a nightmare for me. It was a nightmare for me. I couldn't really, read kanji. It's so difficult. So yeah, but don't worry, for everyone, don't worry. As a first year, especially if you join through the Asian Career Fair, Japanese proficiency is not mandatory at all, right? Yeah, as long as you can speak in English and deliver what you want to say, so it's fine. Also, one more thing is that my manager once told me that the most important thing is this word is not language. Language is not number one, but the number one, the most important thing in this word is your idea. If you have idea and you can deliver it well, so everything is going to be okay. Language is just a medium. Of course, it will be very good if you can speak in Japanese and deliver it to the local people, but the most important here is the idea. So yeah, don't worry about it.
Great. Thank you very much, Claudia-san. So I would definitely say the same thing about Japanese. Like in your first year, everything is going to be a little tough, as especially if you're outside of Tokyo, where there isn't going to be as much English. But if you're in Tokyo, it shouldn't. I think just having a very basic language skill would be enough to maybe survive in the country. But if you want to do more than that, let's say maybe talk more with your colleagues and stuff like that, that's where you really have to drill down in your Japanese skills. So I would definitely suggest everyone to start learning Japanese as soon as you get here.
Yeah.
And one thing I would like to also say is some of the companies that attend ACF, they actually pay for your language class before you actually get to Japan for some cases. So if you actually do, then that is an option you would like to take. Or worst case, you could also attend a Japanese language class once you actually come to Japan. So that way you will learn basic things to actually survive in the country and as well use it in a business context too. Okay, so thank you very much, Claudia. I think that was 3 questions. We are going to be having another Q&A section up at the end of the webinar, so please don't worry if we haven't covered your question. So now, without further ado, let me just go to the next part of our section, which is the Japan quiz. So please give me a moment. Is everyone able to see my slide?
Are you sharing it already?
Not yet.
Oh, wait, not yet. Yeah, sorry. Okay, is everyone able to see my screen now?
Yeah, but with the script, so...
Yeah, the
let me
presentation.
Just, change that real quick. Yeah, my computer is kind of acting up today, so... Okay, is it the main screen now?
Yes.
All right, perfect. So now that we are going to the Japan quiz, this part I'm going to have Miss Moe-san is going to be taking over from this section. So please, Moe-san.
Hi. Yeah, thank you, Jeremy. So now in this part, Claudia and me, Moet, hi, Kasih ACF committee, we're going to involve you all within the Japan quiz. So yeah, maybe some of you guys have played Kahoot before, but okay, Rumi, maybe next slide, yeah. So please find this website, or if you have an app, please, you can use the app, yeah. So let me briefly explain how it works. So there will be 9 questions about Japanese culture, language, business, and manners. And each of the question has 4 options for the answer. It's either single or multiple choices. Yeah. So if you choose the right answer, you get scores, and the faster you answer the right one, the more scores you get. And at the end of the round, we're going to show you who are the top 3 Japan savvies. So we actually do have a massive prize for this. So for the top 3 winners, we promise you to give you guys the invitation for ACF, which also means that you'll get a free round trip ticket to Singapore. Yeah. So please scan the QR code to be shown, or please log into the Kahoot using the PIN number.
Okay, so I'll be switching over to the screen real quick.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, now that you can see the QR code and the game pin, you can log into the Kahoot, and I'll send you how to send the link for the Kahoot so you can log in from there as well. Yeah, okay, thank you guys. So one thing to remind for the nickname, right? Please use your real first name, hopefully. Don't put some random weird name, please. Thank you. Yeah. So we'll wait for like maybe 3 minutes until everyone's gonna join.
We have about 100 participants, so once majority of the students join us, we will be starting the session.
Oh, do you need an email to join the food? I think every email should be.
Yeah, you
Okay.
don't need an email to join. You just need to type Kahoot and key in the code, and you can join the game.
Maybe the link that you just share in the chat, because I tried to click on that and it's kind of weird.
Oh, is
So,
it?
yeah, maybe not that link, just kahoot.it only. I'm not sure.
Yeah, maybe you can just like Google Kahoot and then like enter the game pin. That's maybe easier. No. I love how the chat is really supportive. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Jeremy, thank you.
Right, we have about half the participants joining. So if you haven't done already, please go to Google, type Kahoot, and type in the pin code, so you'll be able to join the session.
Yeah, Claudia, thank you for sending the link.
Okay, we just need about 20 more participants and we can join the game. So if you haven't already, please go to Google again, type in Kahoot, or you could use the link in the chat.
Join
and
ini
type in
guys,
the
nanti
QR
kalian
code, or
bisa
type in the pin code so that way you could sign in to Kahoot. Thank you.
kalian bisa ikutan ini dan dapetin tiket untuk ke Singapura gratis. Ikutan kuis 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 kuis.
Okay, so for those who joined right now, we're going to play Kahoot game. So you can Google Kahoot, or there's a link in the chat, or maybe you can't see it. You can like chat, type Kahoot, and then log in with a game pin. Yeah.
Mau ikutan kuis berhadiah? Mau ikutan kuis berhadiah untuk liburan ke Singapura nggak? Nggak liburan sih, tapi career fair ke Singapura nggak? Join ya. Join itu linknya di situ. Join aja, nanti kalian bisa dapetin
We'll just leave
kesempatan
the thing open for 1 more minute. If
200
you haven't joined yet,
Singapura
we will
dollar
still post
ke
the pin
Singapura.
later in
Ya.
the chat, so that way you could still
Jangan lupa
join us
join.
midway.
Join.
So in the next minute, we'll be starting the game.
Join.
Yeah, also, can you guys actually hear the background music, or is it not working for Kahoot as well?
No, I can't.
Okay, if that's the case, Claudia, I think you'll have to play the music section with your
Yeah,
audio
sure.
later on. Yeah.
Already be prepared for that. No problem.
All right. Thank you very much.
I think. Yeah, okay, wow. That's a lot to join at the last minute. Maybe we can start.
Okay, so we'll be starting the game. So let me start.
Yeah, so Kasih. So the first question. Okay, takes long. Okay, so first of all, we'll start from basic Japan knowledge. Keep it simple here. So, number one, what is this food? Oh god, is it sushi? Sushi. Very, very, very much easy, I think. Yep. Yes, it is sushi. Oh my god, I'm kind of disappointed with the 5 people, but it is sushi. Yeah, thank you guys. So let's see the ranking. Okay, Rafik, Jeremy, and Rekatian is. Oh, you can't see the picture? Oh, I'm so sorry. It's on the screen, should be. So these 3 guys, you're on the top 3. Yeah, so let's move on to the next quiz. So yeah, in Japan, what do you say when someone or something is cute? So seeing this picture, will you say ureshi, or yasashi, or kawaii, or kakkoi? It's a picture of cat and dog. To the person who can't see the picture. Okay, yeah, it's kawaii actually. Kawaii means cute. Ureshi is happy. Yasashi is kind. Kakkoi is cool. Yeah, pretty easy, I think. Let's move on to the ranking. Okay, Rafi. Oh, okay, Raf. Okay, that's a pretty complicated name. So Raf is whatever person you are on the first, Rakati on the second, Jeremy on the third. Yeah, let's move to the fourth question. Was it third? Yeah. What is the traditional costume called? This one in the picture. Is it yukata? Is it kimono? Or is it hakama? Or is it geta? Yeah, actually, this answer is kimono. So yukata is more like a lightweight kind of like summer clothes, and hakama is a kind of trousers. It's for men, and geta is just the shoes. Yeah. So let's move on to the ranking. Okay, Jeremy on the first, Rakapi on the third, and Asen on the third. Yeah. Okay, let's move on to the next question. So yeah, this section we're going to challenge your business knowledge. Okay, so first question. How many times should you knock on the door before entering the interview room? Should you knock twice, 3 times, or 4 times, or 5 times? Yeah, actually, you have to knock 3 times. Yeah, I mean, it's not like compulsory, but it's, for the good impression from the company, it's preferably 3 times. Yeah. So let's see the ranking. Oh, drastic change. Rakapi on the first, Fahri on the second, and Wafak official on the third. Okay, is there unofficial Wafak? Okay, anyways. Yeah, let's move on to the second business question. So which word is used to appreciate someone's efforts in the company? Is it お疲れ様です? Is it よろしくお願いします? Or is it お世話になっております? Or お世話になります? Yep. Yeah, so it's actually お疲れ様です. Or お世話になっておりますのお世話になります. It's more like the greeting when you meet the person for the first time. Yeah. let's move on to the ranking. Oh, okay, another drastic change. Raihan on the first place, Ran on the second place, Rafiq is on the third. Wow. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Okay, so here it's a bit complicated. So please imagine you're going to a restaurant with your boss, your very, very boss, and then two of your colleagues. Yeah, and here in the restaurant, or multi-select, it is multi-select. So where should your boss, the boss, sit according to this diagram? It's multi-select. Yeah, the hint is the door. It's the location of the door. Yeah, I think it's pretty difficult. It's 20 answers. Yes, so the answer is 1 and 3, you know, the farthest part, farthest seat from the door. It's kind of like a samurai era thing, but you know, when you think about it, from the door the enemy will come, and you know, if the boss will be killed from the first, you know, it's a bit like troublesome. So the boss should be placed in the farthest part. Yeah. So let's see the ranking. Okay, so Rafiq is on the first, Dewey is on the second, and Alisa is on the third. Okay, we have more questions. I think next part is from Claudia, so I'll give the floor to her.
Oh, okay. So it's the first question is a little bit fun. So I hope you are a fan of a how can somebody answer BTS? How come?
Well, the answer is Fujikaze. Well, he's actually one of the trending artists right now. So if you're actually in Japan, you would be hearing about his music quite a lot right now. Okay, now let's move on to the next question for Claudia. Okay, now we have Rafik, Alyssa, and Raihan on the top three. Now let's see what the next question is, Claudia.
Oh yeah, this
No.
is just yeah. Please go ahead through me.
Yeah, so please arrange below the sentence into the correct grammar. As the quote says, "Hello, my name is Yuki. Nice to meet you." You just have to drag and drop the right way, so that way you can form the sentence. So it has to go from up to down.
Maybe for someone who cannot read kanji, we can read it. So the red one is yoroshiku onegai shimasu. Yeah.
Well, the answer is, as you can see, the first kanji that was written here is watashi no. And the blue one over here is namae wa. And the third one over here in hiragana, it's written there yuki desu. And the last one over here is yoroshiku onegaishimasu. So in English, it practically means, "Hello, my name is Yuki, nice to meet you." But I must say, 16 of you guys have got it right, so I'm pretty sure you guys have a very basic grasp of the Japanese language. Congratulations. All right, now let's see how the scoreboard looks like. Okay, we have Rafik, Raihan, and Alyssa on the top three. We still have one last question, and this will determine how well you actually know Claudia. And if you do, you may be winning the free travel scholarship ticket to ACF. So please give your best in the next question. Right. So what is Claudia's last name? It's a very simple question.
Iya. Pertanyaan yang akan sangat menentukan. Sorry, speaking Indonesian. Penting banget ya. Pertanyaan yang sangat menentukan. Oh, thank you.
Well, the answer is Okuzumi. So if you have seen our ACF poster and you have signed up for our event, the first thing you actually see in the poster is Claudia's full name. And if you are actually a fan of her, then this should be a very big breeze for you guys. But anyways, now let's get to the podium. Let me return the floor back to Moe-san.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, now let's celebrate the top 3 winners. Okay, sorry. Okay, so the third place it's Farin Sinzal, and the second Raihan, and the first is who is it? Oh, it's Rafi. Congratulations, 3 of you guys. So these 3 people, please send me the pin person over there a private message with your email address and also full name. 楽しかったです. Thank you, ありがとう. And yeah, so please send the email and name, and then we can contact you about the, how to deliver the gift. Yeah. Thank you so much, guys.
Before we close, can we take a picture? Take a screenshot of everyone.
Yeah, of course. You can stop sharing or...
Yes. I don't know how to show the rest of the audience. Yeah, could you please...
The session hasn't ended
Oh,
yet.
sorry, so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, we do have another section.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, just give me a moment.
Yeah, so should we move to the Q&A section now?
Oh yes. Let me just make sure I receive one more. I think 2 more people's email. I have received Rafik's. I think I'm still awaiting for Faris and Raihan's email. So if you haven't, please send them to me right now. Thank you. Okay, so I'll just quickly move over to the slide. Please give me a moment. Okay, is everyone able to see the screen now?
Yes.
Right, perfect. Okay, so please, Moe-san, continue with your part of the section.
Yeah, okay, so from now on, let's get to the Q&A section. So before we have a live Q&A section, let's go over a few commonly asked questions, which is how to join ACF. Yeah. So in order to register, you have to go through these 4 steps: register, invitation, learn, and meet. So as for registration process, allow me to walk you through the steps and requirements, since there's pretty much to do. So once you have prepared these 2 documents, please go to our website, which I'm going to send a link from now on the chat. Should be dropped. Yep, thank you, Yuka. So, or you can read the QR code that we're going to show on the screen. Yeah. So, hopefully everyone scan the code. So the first 2 things you need for the registration would be your English CV and also followed by your transcript. So if your university cannot provide your transcript, you can request for a recommendation letter as a substitute. And also you need 2 essays, which are motivation essay and self-promo essay. So as for motivation essay, this is the part that exhibiting companies look forward to reading. So it is highly recommended to focus less on Japanese soft power, such as anime, food, or pop culture. You have to focus more on company values, business culture, or knowledge on the particular industry, and it will help you stand out to, the recruiters. And also, as for the self-promo essay, so this is an opportunity to upsell your skills, personality, and experience. So content-wise, it is very similar to a cover letter. So if you have one already, the section shouldn't be too much of a burden. Yeah. So as for the next step, so based on the registered information documents, we SIF committee will do a pre-selection, and the successful candidates will be invited to ACF. So we have set a criteria and invite only highly motivated candidates. So we appreciate your best efforts on preparing the CVs. Yeah. So as you can see on the slide, we have already started sending out invitation for the event. So for the students living outside of Singapore, which applies to most of you guys here, we recommend you to submit your applications before January 15th, to secure your cerebral scholarship of 200 Singaporean dollars. And once you receive the scholarship, be sure to follow our social media pages for more updates regarding attending companies, tips, and contests. So we're going to send you the link of our social media platform now. I think it's coming soon. Yeah, thank you, Yuka. So, and finally, on February 11th, 8 a.m., the event will start. So all you have to do is head to Singapore Expo. Yeah. So another commonly asked question is, which company will be exhibiting with us this year? So here are the company that was exhibited, for the past events as a reference. So as for this year, so as for engineering companies, we have Asbil, AGC, TDK, Kids, Kawashima Engineering, Mitsubishi Heavy Industries. So even though they are engineering companies, they're also open for many majors. So even if you're not studying engineering, please do check the company's pages. And also for civil engineering, we have Kozo Keikaku Engineering and Penta Ocean Construction. So these companies are also open for internships. So if some of you are looking for internships, it's maybe nice to aim for these companies as well. And as for IT companies, we have Saigozu and the Japan Research Institute at the moment. So they're also looking for business major students. So please refer to the company's hiring requirements. Yeah, thank you, Yuka, for the link. And obviously many more companies to come. Yeah, so that's all for my part. So if you have any follow-up questions, please feel free to ask us later. And yeah, I will give the floor back to Rumi. Thank you, guys.
Right, thank you very much, Moe-san. Now we will be going over a quick Q&A session, and I believe we have received a few questions in the chat previously, so let me just pick a few to answer right now. So I believe I received something here. Okay, so the first question from Alfar, which is, are there any job vacancies in the manufacturing industry, especially for quality control or for biology majors? I would say for the manufacturing side, I think they are actually participating the most this year, which I believe in the previous slide for over here, I believe. These are the companies that are participating. And each of them, I think they specialize in different things. For example, AGC, they specialize in chemical where they actually make equipments with glass. Asbil, they do for variety of different manufacturing sectors. TDK, they do for manufacturing for, let's say, things like semiconductors and things like that. And we also have things like Kawashima and Mitsubishi industry, where they specialize in creating machinery of sorts. And lastly, we have a company called Kids, which specialize in valve engineering for, let's say, machine part. So if you're looking for quality control specifically for, let's say, the manufacturing industry, I would say these three are the ones. But if they're specifically for the biology major, unfortunately this year, we don't have a biology type of hiring for this year yet. However, we are still in the process of inviting companies. So if you follow our webpage, you'll be able to see what each of the companies are requiring. So please be sure to check for our website. So now let me get to the next question, which is okay, I believe in the survey link, I actually received this very interesting question, I would say. And I think majority of you guys here may be able to relate with this, so I'll just answer it. So the question was specifically made for, I think, people who was a little concerned about religion. Let's say if you're moving as a Muslim to Japan, how will life be like and things like that. So as a Muslim myself, I think I could answer this. And I would say compared to 10 years ago, Japan is a little more easier to actually live in as a Muslim. It's very easy to find halal food everywhere, and people are more understanding of the culture when it comes to compared to 10 years ago. So if you're coming here, religion is really not a concern here anymore. But I would say, let's say if you're working in let's say a specific company, and some people will not necessarily know a lot about religion, so it is also your job to be able to spread the word about it and actually tell people that let's say on certain times of the day you have to pray, or you are not allowed to participate in, let's say, I would say maybe participate in nomikai, but not exactly drink. You have to set a clear boundary by yourself. So I would say you are a little accountable when it comes to joining a Japanese company, and you have to be able to tell everyone that for your case that you have a certain lifestyle and you have to live in a certain way. So as long as you let people know around you, everything should be fine. But one thing I'll guarantee for sure, if you are, let's say if you join a company through ACF and you think there's a chance that you might face discrimination of sort or anything like that, one thing I would definitely say is a company like that will not be allowed to exhibit in ACF. So if you have any, let's say, concerns about, let's say, about religion or trying to transition your life from a different culture, then there's no problem with joining with any of the ACF companies. So that's one of the questions I found. And now let me just quickly check with the other questions that I saw in the chat. Okay, so another very important question I found is, am I applicable for scholarship fund if I'm not a student? So one thing about a scholarship fund is you have to actually be a student who has not, let's say, got a job yet. So let's say maybe if you just graduated and you're still in the process of looking for a job, then you are able to apply for the travel scholarship. But however, if you already have started working or if you're currently in a job, then we unfortunately cannot provide the the travel scholarship for you guys. So that is one thing to keep in mind. And two, for let's say certain universities, we are unable to provide the travel scholarship, but with an exception of, let's say, for example, if you want to the Japan quiz, then we will still give you the travel scholarship. But for other cases, you have to be from our list of partner university in order to apply for the travel scholarship. So I hope I answered your question on that part, Mr. Muhar. And I think I'll have room for two more questions. So I think I'll take one question from Jeremy, which is, I take it that this event will only be held offline since it still takes a noticeable amount of money to attend the event in case that I can get the scholarship fund. Yeah, like if you have to actually if you're not a student anymore, then in that case that will be the case. But however, once you come to Singapore and while you're in the event, at least food and everything there is going to be free. So in that sense, it will be covered, but the travel costs, you may have to cover it on your own for this case. Right. For the last question, yeah, I'll take one last question from Miss Inda. So, is it possible if you're still a final year student to do an internship at a Japanese company, such as between semester 6 and 8, especially for students from polytechnics? For this case, I wouldn't say all the companies are actually doing internship, but if you look through our website, you may be able to find a company that's specifically looking for internship for the polytechnics major. So please be sure to check our website. But then again, the internship position is not necessarily restricted to students who are still in their 2.5 year or 3rd year. Even as your final year, you're still allowed to take these internships. So maybe let's say after you take an internship with them for about 6 months, you're still able to actually maybe turn it into a full-time opportunity later on. So this really depends on the company again. And if you have the time to ask the company recruiter, I would highly suggest you do so in the event itself. I hope I answered your question. And okay, so I think I would just like to wrap up for the session for now, for the Q&A. And I believe we have covered 5 questions. And if there's any other questions that you would like to ask, please feel free to ask us through the ACF website anytime. So we'll be responding to your questions and needs. And lastly, I would just like to thank you guys again for this session. And let me move on to the next slide. Now, we would really like to hear what you felt about the webinar today. So I believe Yuka will be dropping the survey link in the chat box below. And as for agenda, today we have covered what is ASEAN Career Fair. We have had our guest speaker Claudia for today. And we have had the Japan quiz. And finally, of course, congratulations to the top 3 winners. And finally, for the Q&A session, we just covered top 5 questions that were needed to be heard from the participants. So again, thank you very much for joining our special Japan Korea Talk webinar for today. I would like to thank every single one of you for participating today and taking your times out. I think Indonesia, it should be 3 p.m. We started from 3 p.m., so it might step in a little tough for you guys, but again, thank you very much for joining us, and we really look forward to seeing you guys in ASEAN Career Fair 2023. So thank you very much, everyone. And Claudia, I believe you wanted to take a picture in the end. Yeah.
I don't know how to do it. Probably. Could you please stop? I don't know.
All right.
Can anyone do a screenshot and share it to us? I don't know how to do it. Sorry.
Oh yeah, no
I
problem.
will.
Yeah.
So, okay, do you want the students to like show their faces? Is this okay for you?
Oh yeah. If possible,
Yeah, okay.
No
Okay,
pressure,
so
no
people,
pressure.
please smile behind the screen then. Okay. Hi, cheese. Oh, okay, thank you. That's so kind, honestly. Okay, love to see your faces. Okay. Okay, thank you, guys.
Thank you. Bye. ありがとうございました。
ありがとうございます。
Oke, career fair udah selesai. Gimana menurut kalian? Jangan lupa share sebanyak-banyaknya ke teman-teman biar semuanya bisa ikutan eventnya di Singapura bulan Februari 2023. Bye bye.